Alright, so I usually don't do movie reviews on the channel. I used to back in the day in this channel's toddler years when I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do with the channel, but I just had to talk about this. So I just got back from seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and the movie was peak. The movie was really, really good. I walked away from that film feeling satisfied, and knowing that there's a fourth one on the way with how that movie ended, seeing the post-credit scenes, I think we're in for something special with whatever they're setting up with this film series. So, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, it introduced Shadow the Hedgehog to this movie franchise series, a character that is a fan favorite, well-beloved, and I was wondering how would they handle Shadow the Hedgehog in this movie, because they're loosely adapting Sonic Adventure 2, and some of the elements in Sonic Adventure 2 are not all there. Like, there's no Amy in this movie, the talk 'em down, where Shadow the Hedgehog has a change of heart. They had to alter Maria's death. You had Gerald Robotnik in this movie, where in the game's lore, he's been dead for years. I guess he just rotted away in that prison cell. Or I think he faced a firing squad. I'm not sure. It's very vague. It's up in the air. I haven't played Sonic Adventure 2 in a while. I tried replaying it, but I gave up on it, because I thought I'd play it again to get back into Sonic Adventure, to get into the new Sonic movie. But just the cast and crew performance of this movie was really freaking great. It didn't focus too much on the humans, which is a lot of complaints that a lot of people get with this movie, where you'll see the humans off doing human things, but the only humans we really focus on in this movie is the humans that people want to see, which is Jim Carrey being Eggman. And Jim Carrey playing two different Eggmans is a lot of fun in this movie. Half the time you forget there's two Jim Carreys on screen, and he just naturally plays off himself really well in this movie. They even make so many breaking the fourth wall jokes where they stare directly at the camera, and they even acknowledge that the two different characters are played by the same actor. They have that fourth wall breaking moment in this movie. Even hearing someone like Keanu Reeves voice Shadow was a really good performance. I feel like Keanu did a really good job as voicing Shadow in this movie. I mean, I've heard Keanu in a few voice roles more recently, there's a Cyberpunk game where he's Johnny Silverhand. He does a really good role in that game as well. But hearing him as Shadow, he just fits that role so perfectly. I think it was a meme that he could probably voice Shadow because of John Wick. And hearing Keanu's performance as Shadow is just a natural voice coming out of it. He's not overacting, he's not hamming it up. It's just this natural performance that just comes out of him as the role of Shadow. And how they handled Shadow in this movie, I feel like they handled it really well. Although they had to change some things with the backstory, we didn't see Maria cop a bullet to the head. Unlike the video games, she was killed in an explosion, unfortunately. So they had to change that, of course, because, family film. And, of course, the moment that made Shadow turn is when him and Sonic have this Dragon Ball Z across the universe brawl, which is really freaking cool. It was cool seeing them. Okay, I'm going to go into spoilers. I'm definitely going to go into spoilers in this video. So, spoilers ahead. So, of course, you see Super Sonic and Super Shadow in this movie, and the fight they have when they both go into their super forms against each other is really freaking awesome. It's this Dragon Ball Z level fight where it's across the universe, and you see the ground shaking around them, and then they eventually take the fight into space, but then eventually ends, and they both sort of come to an understanding in the client film, and then they both go Super Sonic and Super Shadow again to defeat Gerald Robotnik's evil robots as well. So there's that. You also get to hear Live and Learn, which I'm glad we finally got to hear Live and Learn in this film. I was we found out they would be playing that song months in advance when the film was when Shadow was announced, I believe, that we would hear Live and Learn. And hearing that theme song again, even hearing an orchestra version of it, got me really excited, because if you've played Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, where you hear that theme just come up in the final boss battle, it's just like, it's really epic. Like that song is still on my Spotify playlist to this very day. That song follows me wherever I go for the past 20 years. It's such an epic song. Like, I love me some butt rock Crush 40. But going back into the whole Sonic Adventure 2 references they slide into this movie, they put a lot of love into those references. I mean, when there's that scene where Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails jump out of the gun helicopter, Sonic says that line where he says, "No in-flight movie or food, I'm out of here." He doesn't like rip off like a part of the plane like he does in the video game, but he still quotes it. And then, of course, you've got the Chow Garden as well, which was something that was a part of the Sonic Adventure 2 games, which was really cool to see here. Like, I'm glad it's weird that they finally acknowledge like chows in this game. Like, they're not little weird creatures that you see. They're sort of like these weird mascots at this Tokyo restaurant, which, hey, we got a Chow Garden reference. If you know the reference, you know the reference. But one of the big things is Gerald's plot is to use the Eclipse Cannon to destroy Earth to get revenge for Maria. And when we saw the Eclipse Cannon, I knew what was going to happen, because if you played Sonic Adventure 2, you're wondering, are they going to blow up the moon as like sort of like a threat or a like warning like they did in the games? They do blow up the moon in this movie, but it's played for comedic effects, where if you know the reference, you know the reference. But one character I was thinking we'd see show up in this movie, and maybe they'll save it for Sonic 4, and that was BioLizard, because BioLizard was originally one of the ultimate life forms as well, and then there was also Shadow as one of the ultimate life forms as well. So I was thinking that BioLizard would show up, because when we learn about Shadow's backstory, we learn that he fell from space, and then you do see him come out in the media. So I do wonder if maybe Gerald did create a BioLizard in this game, not in this game, in this movie franchise series as well. So maybe we'll see BioLizard as well, because this is probably not the last we've seen of the Eggmans, because Gerald gets destroyed, and Ivo, Jim Carrey Eggman, Ivo, sacrifices himself as they have this hero moment in the movie where it looks like he's done being a villain, and then he gets roped into it to help his grandfather. And then in the end, like, you have Jim Carrey Eggman having his redemption where he sacrifices himself in the end, which Jim Carrey seems to be on board with these movies. Like, I think one of his sayings is, if the script is good, I'll definitely come back, because he said that he was going to retire after Sonic 2, but then he came back for Sonic 3. So I get the feeling if the script is good, like, we're always going to see Jim Carrey come back into this role, which is a lot of fun. I feel like Jim Carrey is a lot of fun as Eggman. Same with a lot of the other cast and crew who are in these movies, like Ben Schwartz as Sonic. I feel like he plays that role naturally. He plays it a bit off as the other Sonic voices you hear. Idris Elba as Knuckles. Yeah, he's sort of becoming my favorite Knuckles. I'm always going to love like the voice of Dan Green as Knuckle, or I'm always going to love Meathead, Travis Willingham voicing Knuckles in Sonic Boom with all the memes I've seen like for the past couple of years, and Colleen as Tails, who's voiced Tails for the longest time, is still voicing him, and it's really good to hear her as well. But now, let's talk about those post-credit scenes, because we're getting a Sonic 4 in 2027. Now, spoilers if you're still watching, because I ramble on about spoilers here and there for this movie. So, in the post-credit scenes, we see several Metal Sonics from Sonic CD, and Sonic at the end of the movie ends up getting saved by Amy Rose. Now, we don't know who's going to be voicing Amy Rose. I'm hoping that it's someone who voices her from the games, like maybe Cindy Robinson, who voices Amy in the Sonic Boom TV series and the video games that come out. Because I know there's another voice actress that voices Amy in Sonic Prime. I believe it's the voice actress for Misa in Death Note, because there's a Canadian production over there, so it's a different voice cast. So there's that. But the other big post-credit scene is that Shadow survives the Eclipse Cannon's destruction. So if Shadow's alive, then I'm sure that Eggman is alive, or the Eggmans are alive, no doubt about it. But overall, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was a lot of fun. It had a nice message overall that the film was telling, like making the right choice and how you don't have to do things on your own all the time. Like those were some pretty nice messages that the film had within itself. But not only that, like even though I said like it didn't focus too much on the humans, the other humans we saw as the supporting cast were pretty cool. Like Jessica Jones, Jane from Breaking Bad was Rockwell, that not Shield gun officer that we saw. So it was cool seeing her. I didn't realize I was her until I looked it up because I haven't seen her in a lot of things. But when I realized it's her, it's cool to see her. But overall, the cast and crew, a lot of fun. I feel like this movie was really freaking great. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the 4th movie to come out. No doubt about it, just like in between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, maybe we'll get some kind of crazy spin-off like we had with Knuckles that no one will watch and no one will talk about. But Sonic 3, really freaking good. Peak, as people are saying online, it's pretty freaking amazing. Go see it if you haven't seen it already. And if you have seen it, tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. I'm going to end this rambling video now. I feel like I've been rambling on for way too long. I don't know how well this video is going to do. Hopefully it does decently, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, take care, and bye.